good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a great evening so far. As you realized, I am not in person with you this evening. I am unfortunately down in Cape Town. Thank you to Baker Baynes and Autodesk for hosting us this evening. Thanks to technology, we've been able to bring you this pre-recording. My name is Dash Coville. I'm currently with the Green Building Council of South Africa. The GBCSA is a non-profit member organization with the aim to transform the built environment for both people and planet to thrive. Just trying to emphasize that both people and planet for you, because it's really important that that is the outlook, and that it's not just planet, because we can't forget about the people side. The possibility of energy efficiency is switching things off, but the reality is that people need to operate in a space where they enjoy it, feel comfortable, and sometimes that means having air conditioning on or having certain things, that active systems that require energy. And so there has to be this trade-off, this balancing act that's done. The GBCSA has three primary functions or core focus areas: advocacy, training, as well as certification. So my space in which I operate within the GBCSA is the certification space, and that is the one that I'm going to be talking a little bit more and really excited about. Update to our new build certification tool. So our Green Star new build tool, which is applicable therefore to new builds and major refurbishments, is getting a major overhaul. What you'll see is that there are 8 categories and they range, and that's important, right? It's looking across all these various impact areas and making sure that there's enough guidance provided to the market to move through. So it's a really exciting space, and one in which I think the Autodesk and the Revit space is really going to support those outcomes, and really looking forward to that. So one of the ideas with the tool is that it needs to be contextually relevant. It has to make sense to South Africa. The base tool comes from the Australian Green Star system, which is what we as the GBCSA feed or have links to. And so the starting point was there, but really the onboarding and making sure that the credit responds to our market has been quite an interesting one. The tool itself is currently at a pilot level stage. So we have a number of different pilot projects that are running with it. Internationally, there are 3 global sustainability megatrends. There's climate action, resource efficiency, and health and well-being. And those are ones that we are needing to focus in on and make sure that the tool has an outcome. You have to predict this. You have to predict your performance. And one of the key outcomes is also that we're looking at green buildings being good buildings and good buildings being green buildings, and one and the same. With the topic of tonight's conversation, I think there's a big link between the climate action response. There's an objective to achieve net zero carbon as quickly as possible. And so how do you do that? You need technology to be able to, especially from a new build perspective, to inform how that building is going to perform at the end of the day. And it needs various stakeholders, various people within the project team to be able to feed in to that core goal that's needing to be met at the end of the day. So that's on the tech side and the climate action and the example. Health and well-being is really just making sure that people are considered during that whole entire process, and that people from the design team, and everybody is part of that in terms of making those sustainability goals, all the way to who's going to be using the building. The idea at the end of the day with the awareness creation is that you're building this community of green advocates across the full value chain of a building's life cycle. Looking forward with the sustainable future, I really do think that integrative design process is a must. And what's nice about the topic of today, Autodesk side and Revit, is that's enabler. It allows people to connect and work together on that solution. And that's an important one. We are all part of the solution. We can't just work on what worked in the past. We're having to adjust and having to move forward with new objectives, new requirements, sustainability objectives, and we need tech to assist us in that. And something I did pick up and I want to mention is there's a report done by Autodesk on the State of Design and Make report. project. And what they raised was the need to do 4 things: digitize, connect, optimize, and evolve. And I just thought that was a great set that aligns to this topic tonight. Digitizing, we need to be digitizing, because once you digitize, there's this ability to move information throughout the project's life cycles. Connecting is the various stakeholders involved in that final delivery all can come together and make sure that their objectives are all met along the way. Optimizing, through that process, you're able to make the changes in as real a time as possible. I think is better for everyone, including the environment, because there's less wastage, all of these things. And then evolve. And evolve is a nice one, because it's saying we can't just end when the project ends. There has to be a learning and the feedback loop that comes through from that. Spoken about tech and how we integrate, and that sounds overwhelming. And to close, I want to end on a quote from Paul Hawkins, who's a well-known American environmentalist and author of a great book called Project Drawdown. The first rule to sustainability is to align with natural forces, or at least not try to defy them. So if we had to break it all the way back down to simplicity, core of sustainability could be met. And so let's also not try and overcomplicate it. If we go back on simpler projects, let's just go back to fundamentals. And I think with that, we can also achieve great things. And then final one is the potentially cliched one, but if not you, then who? If not now, then when? And what we build today informs the outcome of our tomorrow. And so we've got to start. I hope you all have a great evening. Further, I am sad that I'm missing out on the good fortunas. Potentially we're in a position to connect in person at some later point in time. Have a great evening. Thank you very much. And again, thank you to Baker Baynes and Autodesk for this great evening. Thanks all.